So now that we know how to create the foundation of our sounds with the oscillator sections, it's now time to add some shine and tweak the sound using envelopes and LFOs. The amp envelope section controls the volume level of the sound over time. The attack parameter determines how fast the sound reaches its highest level once the note is pressed. Shorter values will result in the full volume of the instrument being heard as soon as the note is played. While longer values will allow the sound to slowly swell to its highest value. You can see a visual representation of this in the envelope display above the envelope controls. The decay knob will control how long it takes for the volume level to drop from its highest peak to the sustain level. The sustain knob controls the volume level of the instrument while a note is being held after it has passed the decay time. The release knob will determine the length of time the volume reaches infinity after a note has been released. And finally, the level knob controls the overall volume level of the instrument. The filter section allows you to apply a basic cut filter to the audio, but it does allow you to determine how the filter is applied over time using the filter envelope. These controls work in the same manner as the ones we just looked at, only instead of controlling the level over time, they are controlling the filter. The attack knob will control how fast the filter is applied to the sound. Shorter values will result in the filter being applied quickly after the note is pressed, while longer values will have the filter slowly applied to the sound once the note is pressed. The decay value will control how long the filter is applied before dropping to the sustain level once the attack has reached its maximum level. Longer values will hold the filter for a longer period of time, while lower values will result in the filter being applied at its maximum value for a shorter period of time. The sustain knob will control the level of the filter while the note is being held after it is falling from the maximum level. Larger values here will produce more of the filter being applied while the note is held, while smaller values will result in a less presence of the filter while the note is held. The release knob controls how long the filter is applied after the note has been released. The envelope knob controls how much of this envelope is actually applied to the filter. Positive values will apply more of the envelope, while negative values will apply an inverse version of the envelope. The LFO knob will apply the LFO to the filter. We will be taking a closer look at the LFO in a moment. Larger values of this parameter will add more of the LFO to the filter. The KBD knob will allow the frequency of the note being played to modulate the cutoff value of the filter. Which brings us to the cutoff knob. This will control the frequency of the filter's cutoff point. The emphasis knob will apply a boost around the frequency set by the cutoff. The high knob will control the high cut filter. All frequencies below this point are cut. The band knob will control the frequencies of the bandpass filter, allowing the frequencies with its range to pass through. The LFO section is yet another oscillator. However, unlike the three oscillators we already looked at, this one is used to modulate other areas of the instrument. We have already looked at how to apply LFOs to modulate the sound generation oscillators, as well as the filter. Let's take a look at how to customize the characteristics of the LFO. First, you can decide if you wish to enable the LFO or not. If disabled, all areas that are being modulated by the LFO will cease to be modulated. The shape selector will allow you to select a shape of the LFO's waveform. The rate will control the speed of the waveform. The delay control will delay the introduction of the LFO once a note has been played. The retrigger mode will force the LFO to restart its cycle each time a note is played, as opposed to continuously running. And lastly, there is the chorus, a simple chorus effect that is added to the instrument's output to give the sound more body. FL Studio, the fastest way from your brain to your speakers.